I seem to be having a really good day for videos. Okay, one of the next things that I want to discuss is something called FAST tools. FAST tools are feeling, assess the age and location of the energy or the blockage in the body, still the mind, and trigger the release. And this is especially useful for panic attacks and some kind of anxiety buildup that you don't necessarily know where it's coming from. You can't figure it out, but you can feel it. And it's enough to drive behaviors or pop you back into old behavior patterns. Excuse me. So, in a panic attack, or especially when experiencing emotional flashbacks, that's a really good one. We want to use these FAST tools. So, feeling the shift, let it roll in and through you. What feeling is this? What am I experiencing? What is it? Anger? Is it sadness? Is it? Am I cold? Am I feverish? Am I sensing something around me that's off? Have I forgotten to do something? Am I feeling anxious? So feel that shift. You know that something's happened, something's different. And the reason we want to acknowledge it is because as human beings, we've developed with a certain life survival skill set. And, as we evolved, we had instincts that enabled us to sense danger. So those instincts, which, okay, maybe it's not a saber-toothed tiger anymore, but the danger that we perceive is still real. And if we tell our brain that it isn't, and that we're not able to assess a situation accurately, then we will stop ourselves from effectively being able to assess any situation. So, you let the feeling roll in and through you specifically. So it's going to, just like an emotional flashback maybe does, or even a visual flashback, and it triggers you right back into the moment, and it completely encompasses every space in your attention and focus at that moment, and you're really legitimately right there. That feeling will go, right? It's a response. Your brain doesn't know the difference, so I'll get into that in the next video. But when you're in that moment, sit with it. So we're moving from feeling, what am I feeling? Sit with it for a few seconds, and then ask yourself, how old am I? I've seen this through a couple, and I wish when I find it, I will add it to the series. But how old am I? Because we're going to go back to that childhood trauma. There's a reason you're re-experiencing a feeling, and there's a reason that a certain behavior pattern has come out. And that behavior pattern is probably, relatable to a certain age. How old am I? That'll give you an indication of when the trauma happened that caused the root of this reaction. The next thing, ask, where in my body am I holding this feeling? If it's anxiety, is it in my chest? Is it in my lungs? Do my lungs feel like they're burning? Do I feel like I have a vice around my diaphragm? Are my shoulders cinching up so tightly that they feel like they want to break? Is my neck, do I have a migraine? Am I able to, is my gut reacting? So sit with it. Ask how old you are, and then ask where you're holding that energy in the body. That child, for instance, if that how old you are turns out that you're, just a child, that child and the energy, the emotional imprint that is made from the memory of that child experiencing whatever experience caused the blockage or the wound, when you go back to it, because you've asked yourself, where in the body am I holding this? You're going to go to that spot, and you're going to trigger the release. And that means you activate the intention to release the energy that's stored in that location that you found somewhere in the body. You can use visual images, like imagining a jack-in-the-box popping open and letting butterflies fly out. You can imagine a flower opening, a spinning lotus releasing energy and letting it disperse to where it needs to go. You can imagine unlocking a door or a box and just opening it up. You can imagine simply a field or a membrane that just releases, and then energy is naturally drawn as it naturally is to where it's needed. So the point is that you focus that intention, you see the image, which you're setting the intention, and you're actively following through with the image, therefore extending the intention and then letting it go. And that's part of what a fast tool is.